A former stylist to the hip-hop mogul will return to the stand this morning. Yesterday, Deontay Nash recalled incidents in which he witnessed Combs' violence towards ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. Nash also testified that Combs was aggressive toward him personally. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Lighter note, we learned from Nash that Cassie Ventura, the star witness in this case, had her baby a couple days ago. He's someone who has been very close with her over the years.
Beat a woman who was bleeding and then blamed everybody else in the room. That's the kind of guy I'm supposed to give the benefit of the doubt to. This is just one more in a pile of steaming you-know-what that is being lumped onto that man every single day. And it doesn't matter how expensive and skilled his attorneys are. You get the case you're given.
And Cassie Ventura's mother, Regina Ventura, talked about taking pictures with a Kodak digital camera of all the bruises all over her daughter's body because she said she wanted to memorialize them. There was no cross-examination.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled.
The trial today really centered and was focused around the testimony of Deontay Nash, extremely sassy witness on the stand, who was the former stylist to Cassie Ventura. He testified to acts of violence, often seeing bruising on Cassie. He testified that at one point on a 2013 video shoot that Sean Combs also attacked him.
Of these corroborating witnesses is Dawn Richard. Last week on Friday, she started her testimony and she testified to the fact that she says that she witnessed Diddy violently beating Cassie.
A purple-lit mansion, a legendary host, and a once-in-a-lifetime jam session. Prince's 2010 post-Emmys party should have been a fairy tale night for rising singer Cassie Ventura. Instead, it exploded into chaos when Sean Diddy Combs barged in, tackled Cassie on Prince's manicured lawn, and had to be peeled off by the Purple One's own security. 15 years later, that glittering nightmare sits at the heart of Diddy's federal sex trafficking trial. Cassie and former assistant Mia have finally laid the scene bare for jurors, revealing how one fearless intervention exposed years of power, fear, and abuse hidden behind platinum hits. When Cassie met Diddy at 19, the music mogul promised mentorship and superstardom.
And Cassie Ventura, who is 38 years old and currently 8 months pregnant with her third child, came face to face with Sean Combs in the courtroom yesterday, the man who she says controlled every aspect of her life since she was 22 years old.
What she got instead, prosecutors say, was a gilded cage. Mia and other ex-staffers testified that Cassie's life ran on Diddy's timetable. Surprise phone sweeps, blackout periods with no friends allowed, and silent punishments if she even visited a coffee shop unapproved. One assistant recalled Diddy boasting he had Cassie right where I wanted her, young and moldable. Over 11 years, Cassie's world shrank to penthouses, private jets, and whispered apologies for unexplained bruises. Friends knew something was off, but contracts, NDAs, and Diddy's vast industry clout kept questions soft. Cassie learned the cardinal rule: never appear where Diddy hadn't cleared, because defiance was met with unpredictable and terrifying consequences.
It's an emotional day. She is recounting a lot of the physical violence that she suffered while dating Combs for over a decade.
That tension set the stage for Prince's party, where one forbidden night of freedom would ignite Diddy's fury before dozens of stunned witnesses and eventually an entire courtroom. Emmy night 2010. Diddy told Cassie he'd be with family, leaving her sequestered at the Beverly Hills Hotel with Mia, just in case. Then Cassie's phone pinged, a friend whispering that Prince himself was throwing an after-hours jam at his nearby estate. To Cassie, a lifelong Prince devotee, the invite felt like winning a golden ticket. The risk was obvious.
Drika, how would you describe Cassie's demeanor when she took the stand today?
When she walked in there, Rachel, she had on a brown dress, form-fitting, visibly pregnant, head held high, and did not make any eye contact with the defendant, with Sean Combs.
Diddy monitored her whereabouts through staff check-ins and surprise calls. Still, the thrill eclipsed fear. Cassie and Mia spent an hour pacing the suite like teenagers plotting an escape, weighing stardom against safety. Finally, adrenaline won. They slid into a hired SUV, hearts racing, knowing a single paparazzi flash could sink them. Passing Prince's gates, Cassie exhaled a shaky laugh. For the first time in months, she wasn't Diddy's accessory. She was just a fan about to witness her idol under violet stage lights. Both women silenced their phones and vowed to be ghosts on social media. It felt daring, delicious, and incredibly dangerous. Prince's mansion buzzed with electric funk.
First Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
Candlelit walkways glowed lavender. A small stage overflowed with guitars and horn players. Guests, actors fresh from the Emmys, chart-topping musicians, NBA stars crowded the courtyard. Prince glided in, strapped on his guitar, and launched into a blistering rendition of Let's Go Crazy. Cassie, jaw dropped, pressed near the stage while Mia grabbed drinks shaped like purple raindrops. For almost an hour, Cassie forgot the leash around her life, swaying under velvet lights as Prince winked her way mid-solo. Staff circulated hors d'oeuvres, politely reminding everyone that photos were taboo. Prince valued the moment over Instagram clout. Cassie felt something she hadn't felt in years. Safe, anonymous, free. Yet beneath the euphoria lurked an unshakable worry.
It's day 3 of the Diddy trial, and I'm here outside of the Manhattan Federal Courthouse on this very rainy day, where Cassie has continued giving her gut-wrenching testimony. Today, she took the stand and name-dropped rappers Drake and French Montana, saying she and Diddy were packing to go to Drake's music festival in Canada when Diddy threw her into a bed frame.
What if Diddy's team tracked her phone? What if a guest texted him a tip? Cassie pushed the thought aside and lost herself in Kiss, unaware that outside the gates a black SUV had just rolled up, and a furious figure in a bucket hat was striding toward the entrance. Diddy's arrival felt like a sonic boom. Mia spotted him first, shoulders tight, eyes scanning the crowd like a predator who had smelled prey. Cassie's breath caught. She bolted before the first note of Prince's next song finished echoing. Witnesses later told jurors they saw Diddy shove past partygoers, hissing Cassie's name while security tried politely to ask for credentials. The music never stopped, but conversation froze as the mogul stormed toward the foyer.
Of Sean Diddy Combs. R&B singer and his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura took the stand today. Now, we have to warn you, the details in this case are very difficult to hear.
Cassie kicked off her stilettos, sprinting through the marble hallway toward moonlit gardens. Mia chased after her, whisper shouting directions. Outside, floodlights lit a path down to the circular driveway. Cassie could feel Diddy closing in. His footfalls reverberated like a drumline. She darted onto the grass, dew soaking her bare feet, praying for a miracle. Behind her, Diddy cleared the doorway in full stride, face twisted in rage at the sight of his defiant partner. Party guests exchanged startled glances, unsure whether to help or stay out of a powerful man's path. The chase was on. Wet turf betrayed Cassie. She slipped, tumbled into a manicured hedge, and felt a hand clamp her shoulder. Puff caught Cass, Mia later testified. The next seconds blurred into terror. Cassie landed hard on her back, Diddy straddling her, fists balled, voice spewing accusations of betrayal. One onlooker gasped. Another stepped forward, hesitated, and retreated. Cassie curled into a fetal shield, the scent of fresh-cut lawn filling her lungs. She would later recall only flashes, Prince's guitar echoing in the distance, strobe lights flickering across Diddy's furious silhouette, the metallic tang of adrenaline in her mouth. Mia froze a few yards away, paralyzed by the realization that the violence she usually witnessed behind penthouse doors was now unfolding in front of Hollywood power brokers. Then came a deep, authoritative bark. "Get off her, now!" It sliced through the chaos and turned every head toward 2 imposing men surging across the lawn. The men belonged to Prince. Dressed in discreet dark suits, they moved with military precision. One grabbed Diddy's arms from behind, wrenching him upright. The other stepped between attacker and victim, planting himself like a steel door. "Not in my house," he growled, according to Mia's sworn testimony.
One of the instances that she brought up was that at Diddy's home in Los Angeles, she alleged that Cassie was cooking eggs or handling eggs in the kitchen for Diddy, and he came downstairs. He was incredibly angry and upset, and he took that frying pan, the hot pan of eggs, and attempted to throw it at Cassie.
Shock rippled through the crowd. Sean Combs was accustomed to bodyguards who followed orders, not issued them. He writhed, cursing, but Prince's guard held fast. Cassie, trembling, scrambled backward into the shrubs, eyes wide and glassy. Prince's band never missed a beat inside, yet on the lawn, the music felt miles away. Guests whispered, phones half-drawn, unsure whether filming a billionaire's meltdown would invite lawsuits. With Diddy restrained, another guard waved a driver forward. A black sedan screeched up, and Mia pulled Cassie inside, slamming the door as Diddy roared from across the lawn. That 20-second intervention would later become a linchpin of the prosecution's narrative, proof that when outside Diddy's controlled bubble, bystanders did step in, and that Cassie's fear of him was no exaggeration. Freedom lasted mere hours. Near dawn, Cassie unlocked her Beverly Hills suite, thinking she'd outrun the storm. Instead, the storm kicked in the door. Diddy burst inside, eyes bloodshot, suitcase in hand, projectile and weapon in one. Cassie testified he pelted her with luggage, shouting slurs and accusations. A makeup artist called to prep Cassie for a video shoot the next morning arrived to find swollen lips and knotted welts. Mia, hiding 2 floors up, heard the commotion but didn't dare call police. She later told jurors she believed Diddy's reach was above the law. Cassie spent that day behind sunglasses, rehearsing excuses for every bruise. She'd fallen, she'd bumped a door, she'd tried a new workout, anything to avoid triggering Diddy's fury again. The message was clear: escape is impossible and punishment will follow you home. Diddy's corporate response? HR paperwork. The next afternoon, an internal manager informed Mia she was suspended without pay for insubordination, effective immediately. No mention of the lawn assault appeared in the memo, only that Mia had disobeyed a direct order by leaving the hotel. Staffers understood the real rule: protect the boss, ignore the bruises. Years later, another assistant, Capricorn Clark, told jurors she once watched Diddy kick Cassie on a Gulfstream jet while a bodyguard stood there like marble. Stylist Deontay Gray testified he'd seen Cassie emerge from hotel rooms with black eyes hidden under full coverage foundation.
And all I can say to this is it is a really good thing that Sean Puffy Diddy Love Puff Daddy Combs loves applesauce, because they serve that regularly in prison.
NDAs, lavish salaries, and fear of blacklisting sealed lips, fostering a culture where violence equaled authority. But federal investigators chipped away, questioning ex-employees in 2024. One by one, the silence cracked. Mia finally handed prosecutors copies of that suspension letter, proof, she said, that loyalty mattered more than safety in Diddy's world. May 2025, Manhattan. Cassie, now married, mother of 3, walked into federal court and swore to tell the truth. Reporters described a hushed gallery as she relived Prince's party. The chase, the tackle, the blessed moment security saved her. Jurors leaned in. Some winced when she recalled hiding in a bush, shaking so hard she could barely stand. Mia followed, corroborating every detail and adding her own traumas. Unwanted groping after Diddy's 40th birthday bash, ice buckets to the head, threats whispered in corridors. Prosecutors argued that the Prince incident crystallizes Diddy's coercive control, central to trafficking counts. Defense lawyers dismissed it as a lover's spat. Outside, headlines screamed potential life sentences. Yet beyond legal stakes, the testimony has already reframed Diddy's legacy, from party impresario to alleged predator. For Cassie and Mia, the courtroom is more than a venue. It's the first place their voices outweigh Diddy's empire of spin. One purple-soaked night ripped the mask off a music dynasty. Prince's guards drew a hard line, not here, and their split-second courage echoes now in federal court as Cassie Ventura's nightmare becomes public record. Whether the jury convicts or acquits, the narrative has already shifted. Glamour no longer shields violence, and silence no longer equals safety. Cassie's barefoot flight across Prince's lawn, once a whispered Hollywood rumor, stands as a landmark in pop culture accountability. It reminds us that even the smallest intervention can alter a destiny, and that truth, once spoken aloud, changes every story that followed.